Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to Counterpunch, where we sit, talk bullshit about the fight game. I'm RJ Bam. I appreciate y'all being here with me. Let's kick this shit off. If you watched the UFC this past weekend, you were able to see the Michelle Watterson, Joanna Jędrzejczyk fight. And why does this look so quiet? Dude, I swear, this is so quiet. Hello? What in the fuck? It's not loud. Usually this shit is loud. Something's not right. I'm not completely sure what the fuck the problem is. This doesn't seem very loud. I don't need to be screaming this loud. I'm gonna start it over because this is bullshit. I don't understand why this is not loud. This is like, I shouldn't have to be doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like, usually it would be right here. And it's not even, like, it's getting to the point now where I have to crank this shit way the fuck up just to be able to hear it. It's unbelievable. And when you do that, like, sound gets pretty terrible. Like, I understand that most people is like, they talk right here. They want you in the mic like this so you can do it, but it's like, come on, son. Come on, son. I just can't be up in here the whole time. I need a microphone stand that pulls it back, right? That's really what I need. I really need to be able to do it like this. This has already been going on for 5 minutes. Yeah, it's fucking unbelievable. It is what it is. Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to Counterpunch, where we sit, talk bullshit about the fight game. I'm RJ Bam. I appreciate y'all being here with me. Let's kick this shit off. If you watched the UFC this weekend, you were able to see Michelle Watterson, Joanna Jędrzejczyk do their things. And what a fight, man. What a fight. Let's build up to the main event. Before that, we have Mackenzie Dern fight Ribas, right? Dern versus Ribas. Both Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu phenoms. Ribas is a black belt. Mackenzie Dern is one of the most decorated Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners in the UFC. And watching that fight was so frustrating. Mackenzie Dern refused to go to the ground with Ribas. I don't even get it. Like, the whole first round was all pure stand-up, and Ribas was, when you watch her striking, it is so crisp. Pop, 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 pop. 1, 2, 1, 2. She's hitting her with the counters when she's trying to come in. All Dern really has is that, like, dip in and go for an overhand right. That's what she throws. She throws with those haymakers, really grounded punches, and Ribas just catches her every time she comes in. Pop, pop, straight shots. And she was eating them shots, man. They weren't. She caught some just bombs right to the face, and then it wasn't until late in the second round, I think about a minute in, they went to the ground, and then that was it. And then in the third round, the same thing. Like, last minute, they went to the ground again. But I don't know what it is. Like, I was excited to see Mackenzie Dern fight. She just became a mom, so she has more. She has more motivation now. A lot of times that will happen. And she had difficulty making some weights back in the day, but she came in at 115, which I was surprised that she even went down to 115. I thought she was going to stay at like 25 or 35. She went all the way down to 15, and she looked slow, and she definitely looked slow compared to Ribas, and she just didn't try to take her to the ground and then until it was too late. And then when she did try to take her to the ground, it was like you're so gassed by that point that you have no energy to try to hold her down or get in a good position. So it was a little frustrating to see that, but I mean, Ribas was just tearing it up. Props to her. She just absolutely, you could see her crisp striking. It was phenomenal. She did put on a performance, and she definitely won. So props to Ribas for that. Nico Price, James Vick. Nico Price KOs James Vick in the first round. Which is surprising, man, just because I'm always surprised, one, that James Vick can make that weight. He's so fucking tall. He's like 6'3", 6'4", And he just looks so long and rangy for that weight class. You'd think it would be such an advantage, but Nico Price is a force to be reckoned with. He is no fucking joke. He came in there guns blazing and did work in the first round. So that was pretty cool to see. That was probably performance of the night. I don't know who got that, but I mean, you could very well give it to them. I think fight of the night went to Cub and Crone. The Cub Swanson Crone Gracie fight, almost exactly the same thing as the Mackenzie Dern fight. Cub is a phenomenal striker. He's been around for a long time. I understand that he's like 60 years old now at this point, but yo, he can bang, and he has an unorthodox style. He kind of likes to move around, slip here and there, hit punches, and Crone just came in guard high, just coming in, trying to strike with him. Didn't take it to the ground at all. I think it went to the ground once in that fight, maybe twice. Late in the second, I think, maybe once in the third. And Crone ate body shots like a motherfucker, dude. I saw at least 10, 15, 20 times. 10, 15, 100, 700 times that Cub Swanson just popped him with these strong body shots, and Crone just kept coming forward like the Terminator. It just seemed unaffected. I think that Gracie, like, breathing techniques that they do, very Wim Hof type shit where they're sinking their stomachs all the way in and then breathing out and sucking it all the way in. I don't know what that's about. Maybe that helps with building up the inner lining of your guts. Who knows? But he seemed very unaffected by them body shots. It was crazy watching that motherfucker fight. And your whole thing is jiu-jitsu, and it's like, I hate. This is why I like Izzy so much. Because Izzy knows I'm a better striker than everybody out here. So because of that, I'm going to learn how to fight on the ground, obviously. It's mixed martial arts. I'm going to work my takedown defense, and no one's even seen me on the ground. If you do take me to the ground, we can do some ground shit. But he's like, yo, if I'm going to keep it standing, I'm going to dominate you on the feet and make you look stupid. But some of these jiu-jitsu and wrestlers, man, they just get away from that because they know what the exciting shit is. And it's like, dude, you're going to lose the fight. Like, why would you not take the fight where you excel? You are so threatening and dominant on the ground. Do the Khabib game plan, man. Take you down and fuck you up. Like, what? Why is this not getting... I don't understand, jiu-jitsu. Like, he's a Gracie. Take the motherfucker down. Like, you're so out there to prove that you can stand and bang, which is so stupid. Especially against somebody like Cub Swanson. And so Cub took that 0 away from him, man. He took the goose egg away, and now he's got a defeat in his career for mixed martial arts. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's a learning experience, and he's just getting out there, getting better and better. But yeah, for him, I mean, it was impressive seeing him take all them shots and just keep pushing forward. But dude, take the motherfucker to the ground. What you doing, dog? Like, fam. You beyond black belt. You the red belt, right? You got so many stripes on your black belt, it's just a red belt now, okay? Take him to the ground. Cub can't fuck with you on the ground. I don't care if Cub's a black belt. Like, you're a Gracie. Like, what are you doing? It was weird to see. But then, and I think going into that fight, Cub was the underdog. Gracie was the favorite in that fight too. Yeah, who knows, man? That's kind of crazy. And then before that fight, leading up to the fight, there was word that Joanna might not make 115, and they were asking Michelle Watterson about maybe doing a catch weight, and she was like, "Nah, I'm fighting Joanna so I can get to Weili. I want to fight for the Weili title, for the 115 strawweight title. I'm not trying to fight Shevchenko, okay? I'm trying to fight Weili." And then they both made weight. But it's interesting because her team told them she's probably not going to make this 115 or 116. Whatever it is. Okay, if it's a 115 weight class, why is 116 okay? I don't even understand that. Then make the weight class 116. Oh, it's 115? Then you got to make 115. I made 115 and a half. Very cool. Go back there and piss half a pound off because it's 115. Well, I don't get what the especially, yeah, it's dumb. I understand for championship fights you have to make 115, but otherwise a pound over is okay, which doesn't make sense. Why even do the weight class of 115 then? But her team said she wasn't gonna make it, and she did, and so they were wondering, and she made it with ease. It looked like she didn't look super drained or anything. So I was wondering if it was maybe head games going in trying to fuck with Watterson, making her think that she's not gonna make weight, is gonna fuck with her. But either way, and she has had issues making weight before. She's had rough weight cuts. She blamed her first loss to Rose on a weight cut. Didn't take any responsibility for that. Came back, lost a second time. And then lost to Shevchenko when she moved up in weight class, and then she came back down. So it's very plausible for her not to make that weight. And so for Michelle to like keep a cool head and keep going, like it's good for her. Michelle was on, I think, a 3-fight win streak leading up to this fight, and Joanna was on a 3-fight losing streak. She lost twice to Rose, and then went up in weight class, lost to Shevchenko, came back down to this weight class now that Rose lost her title. But now, and then the fight was on, and she was a heavy favorite, man. I think she was like a 300 favorite, minus 300 favorite. And you could tell, you never really think of Joanna being a super big fighter, but when she was standing next to Michelle, she just looked so much bigger than Michelle. Michelle's so tiny. She's like 5'2", 5'3". And just whenever Michelle tried to take her down, which wasn't very often, but she did attempt it a few times, and during those times, she had her up against the cage, and just JJ got the underhooks, and she just overpowered Michelle. Now, there was one interesting moment in the fight. I think it was the second round. They did scramble. Michelle went in for a takedown. They scrambled. They fell to the ground, and Michelle hopped on that back and got her arm almost under the chin, and she was cranking the chin, and then I think Bisping thought it was under the chin, but it wasn't, and it just, yeah, and then she was just on her like a backpack. JJ was able to stand back up to her feet, and then Michelle just stayed on her back, and I was like, she's trying to drain her, but at some point she's going to lose her grip and have to come off that backpack stance. But that was a very exciting moment of that round. I think that was like towards the end of the second round or somewhere, but JJ just looked phenomenal in that fight, man. Her striking is on another level. Her striking is just so crisp. She's coming back on her revenge tip, trying to get that belt back. And she kicked Michelle multiple times. I've seen Joanna kick bitches in the face so many times, and she caught Michelle a few times. Her striking is just so strong, and she's so fast. That's the biggest thing about Joanna. She is so fast with her punches. And Michelle just ate a bunch of shots. She caught Joanna too. Michelle kicked Joanna in the chin, right under the chin. She did like a double kick. She did a high kick, and then she saw the high kick, and then as soon as the kick left, Joanna came in for the counter, and her foot dropped, and she came right back up for a high kick again, and caught her underneath the chin. And then that was a good punch. But overall, man, a very dominant fight. Went to decision, but very unanimous, dominant fight by Joanna, and now she's back in title contention. And Weili, dude, if you haven't seen Weili hit pads, bro, and I know they're just pads, it's just practice or whatever, but seeing Weili hit pads is scary. She is so strong and so fast. Still undefeated. You want to talk shit before the fight even started, how Weili is not going to be able to defend her belt or whatever. And dude, I think Joanna's in for a rude awakening when she fights Weili. I think Weili Zhang is going to hold that belt for a little while. I think she's going to have some multiple title defenses. She is a fierce competitor, and she is strong and on the ground and on the feet. Phenomenal, like Muay Thai style fighting. She's powerful, thick, strong legs, big, strong, like back and core. She's a very tough, and she's bigger, and she's like a. She's bigger too. She's not a small. I think she's like 5'4". So her and Joanna are probably around the same height. I don't know how tall Joanna is. I don't think she's like 5'6", is she? Oh, she ain't that tall. She might be. Who knows? But Weili is she dwarfed Uh, she dwarfed. Oh, what the fuck? Who did she win the title from? The Brazilian girl. Um, I'm picturing her face and I can't remember her name. God dog, my memory is horrible. But when she won the title, she looked so much bigger than Jessica Andrade. She looks so much bigger than Jessica. And granted, Jessica Andrade is small for that division, but she's a fierce, like, fast striker. She comes in and tries to bulldog you, and she just did quick work of Jessica Andrade and just took it to her. And it's and for now, like, I don't know who's next for Weili. I don't know if they give Joanna the title shot immediately, but Joanna is fifth. So Weili, I mean, they might do a rematch against Andrade. I don't know who else is in the strawweight. Rose is still in there if she wants to be in there, you know. So it's interesting. I'm excited to see Weili do her first title defense. Hopefully they set that up soon. But yeah, Joanna already talking shit before her fight, even against Michelle Watterson. She was talking shit about Weili, and Weili's, man, if I'm the other girls in that division, I'm worried because Weili looks like a monster, dude. I predict that Weili's gonna hold that belt for a while. I think she's a beast. Now, getting a little bit away from that, first of all, I want to give big props to Israel Adesanya for doing work against Robert Whittaker, dude. Izzy, I said he was gonna do it inside of 4. I thought maybe the 3rd round, and then before the fight, Izzy was saying, I'm going to get it done in 2. And guess what? He got it done in 2. He called his shot. He just looked... First of all, that's the biggest star the UFC got. His performance, his walk-in, his dancing, everything. He's having fun. He even did the fucking death note while Bruce Banner was giving his intro. Dude, he wrote the name down. He's like, yup, next guy to die. And, dude, he's into anime. He did the crumping. This is a fucking star. USC, you got one, all right? UFC, you got one on your hands, and I think as soon as they saw the intro, the walk-in, the performance, everything, they went, we're going to market the fuck out of this guy. This is our guy. This is the biggest star, and he's the first hip-hop star of the UFC. Conor kind of was like hip-hop because he did the B-I-double-G-I-E thing. And, like, you know, he's the notorious MMA. You know, he was wearing them Coogee sweaters and shit like Biggie, but I mean, he's still white as fuck. And then this is the first, like, true hip-hop dude. He loves anime. He's a star, dude. And he's about to have a meteoric rise in this UFC. And, yo, shouts out to Bobby Knuckles, dude. Robert Whittaker, all fucking class. He was like, yo... He just was the better fighter. What you want me to say? Like, I came in there. I felt great during the training camp. I felt everything was great leading up to this fight. It just wasn't my night. I'll be back. Don't worry. All class. And he's like, props to Izzy. And this was by far Izzy's toughest fight in the UFC. By far. And he did light work. Every single time he goes into that ring, he's a better version of himself. And not many people can say that. Very few people have been able to say that. John Jones is one of those people that could say that. Conor was saying that for a while before he fell off for the 2 years. But Izzy, man, he is just unbelievable. And then so after the fight, so perfect, calls out his next opponent, Paulo Costa, jumps up on the cage, gives him the double bird, says, fuck you, bring that shit in here, I'll kill you. He calls out Costa. And people keep talking about this Izzy John Jones thing. We'll get to that. Look, Paulo Costa, Izzy said 3 things. Okay, he said, look, I want Costa before USADA gets Costa. He's like, I want to get Cannonier because he's looking tough. He looks good. And I agree. I think Cannonier has been making a name for himself at middleweight, and I think Cannonier definitely deserves a shot. And then the last one, he's like, yo, Romero, if he's still in the game, if he is another interesting fight. I get those 2 fights. I definitely think the Costa fight's happening next, for sure. And I think they're going to give Romero to Cannonier. If I'm them, I do Costa versus Izzy, Romero, Cannonier, winner take all. But the only other thing is, I think the next fight is Darren Till versus Kevin Gastelum. And if Darren Till wins against Kevin after moving up in weight class, That's an interesting fight for Izzy. Till versus Izzy is an interesting fight. Both tall, rangy fighters, long limbs, long range, strong fighters. Izzy's a more decorated striker. Darren Till's a great striker as well, but he's got some power behind his hands. Costa's just all power. Not much technique, all power, just swinging for the fences. Izzy's too calculated for him. I think he does light work of Costa. Till is another story. Till is an interesting fight, and I would love to see Izzy versus Till. And then Cannonier and Costa, Cannonier and Romero, we'll see. I think Izzy's too quick, too calculated for those two, but I think the Till fight is the most interesting fight for him. And so Izzy said he wanted to do that before moving up to weight class, which leaves him going up to to light heavy. And someone that's been to light heavy talking hella shit about Izzy is John Jones, talking about, I'll make you my bitch, blah, blah, blah. Now, it's an interesting fight. Everyone's talking about this fight. Everyone from Rogan to just casuals, everyone wants to see that fight. And I think that fight will happen. It's just got to take a little bit of time. Izzy still got to do some work at lightweight or at middleweight. He still got, I want to say he probably at least got 3 more fights before he moves up. At least 3. 3 title defenses to solidify himself at middleweight and then move up to light heavy. At which time John Jones still has to fight Dom Reyes. He still has to fight what's that motherfucker that knocked out Luke Rockhold? He still has to fight Johnny Walker, assuming that all 3 of them guys win their next fights, which I think they will. It's an interesting, so that gives 3 fights to both players. 3 fights to Izzy, 3 fights to Jones, and then might see if there's if not a full-on 205 fight, at least a catchweight, because that's a 20-pound jump, is a big jump. Can John cut down to 195 and Izzy move up to 195? I mean, that would be kind of cool. I would love to see a catchweight. I would prefer to see a catchweight, because 85 to 205 is 20 pounds, man. That's a 20-pound jump. I would love to see a catchweight at 95 if I want to see those 2 fight, more than if I see Izzy just move up to 205. I would prefer to that catch fight, because I think it evens the playing field a little bit in Izzy's favor, because Jones will be a little bit more depleted. I don't know if Izzy can even get up to 205. If he fights at 205, he'll probably be fighting around 195, So, between the 2, Izzy's the better striker, by far. And then John is by far the better ground game. He was a decorated, he was a D1, judo champ, JUCO champ. Jesus Christ, judo champ. He was a D1, D2 JUCO champ. D2 JUCO champ. That makes more sense. JUCO is not D1. Phenomenal wrestler, great jiu-jitsu. His ground game is unbelievable. He's long range. The thing about him, Izzy's 6'4". John Jones is probably 6'5", and a big dude. Now, he has slowed down a little bit. He's a little bit older. I mean, Izzy's about the same age as him, but in terms of his career, John Jones has been slowing down in his career. He's looked human in his last few fights. And if he tries to just purely strike with Izzy, I think he's got more power than Izzy just because he's a bigger guy, but Izzy's so much more technical, so much faster, so much more well-rounded as a striker. I would be worried if he tries to keep it on the ground. And then I think he will definitely try to take it to the ground and do work on the ground, and we'll get to see Izzy's ground game for sure in that fight. Because Izzy's got phenomenal takedown defense. And then and Izzy, every single time, Izzy's always like, yo, no one's seen me on the ground yet, but y'all be surprised when I do take it to the ground. He almost got Kevin in a triangle. Don't ever forget, he almost got Gastelum in a triangle, but everyone was so wet and slippery and from the sweat. It was late in the 4th round, so he almost caught that triangle, but he slipped out of it. So, Izzy's got some moves on the ground, so let's not think that he's just going to be bum on the ground. But here, let me change the camera real quick. Y'all know how it is, 30 minutes in and shit. I know, so it's a little early, but I want to catch it early before it turns off on its own. All right. Recording again. So the Izzy fight, I think he's got 3 more fights in him. That's what he wants anyway. He says, I got 3 more fights before I move up. And those 3 fights are so interesting. Romero-Costa is pretty much the same fucking fight. That's why I don't think it'll get made. Plus, Romero's already gotten 2 shots at the title, lost both of them. So I think Costa's definitely getting the next shot. I think they make Cannonier Romero is what I think they're going to do. And then Darren Till versus Kevin Gastelum. If Kevin wins, they'll do Izzy Kevin 2. They'll do Izzy Kevin 2. If Till wins, that is the fucking fight to make. Because I would love to see Izzy fight Darren Till. And then Cannonier. So either way, I think he got 3 fights left. I think he does light work of Costa. And then I would love to see him fight Darren Till. I think that's the fight to make. So, and then after, and then also in that fight on the Izzy card, Dan Hooker looking phenomenal the way he won that fight. Absolutely beastly. I mean, he's a motherfucker, dude. Dan Hooker is no joke. And after the fight, he calls out Poirier. He goes, yo. And he's been that dude that's climbing the ranks really quickly. He keeps fighting people that are way ranked higher than him. And immediately he calls out Poirier. And he's like, yo, Poirier, let's do this shit. What's up? What's up, Dustin? And then after the fight, Dustin was like, yo, he can keep waiting for the next fight because I'm waiting for that Irishman. And the Irishman's not trying to fight Dustin Poirier. So if I'm Conor, there's only 2 fights for Conor, okay? You either fight Dustin or you fight Gaethje. One of the 2. Dustin or Justin. Which one you want? You want the D or the J? Justin or Dustin? Okay? That's all you got. And Conor's out here calling out Frankie Edgar. And of course, Frankie says, let's go. Dude, Frankie, you are fighting at 155. Frankie Edgar is a bantamweight who should really be a 125er. You're trying to call out a dude who's 30 pounds lighter than you just to try to get a win under your belt, dude. That's how you know Conor's not... Dude, get the fuck out of here with this shit. Anybody that keeps talking about Conor, I used to be a huge Conor dick rider. I love Conor. No, get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here with this shit. You can't fight somebody who's 30 pounds lighter than you, win that, and then try to get a title shot against Khabib. And no one wants to see you fight Khabib again. Nobody. You got 2 fights in front of you. Justin or Dustin. You want DP who you beat, or you want Justin who will fuck you up? They will both fuck you up. Justin, Gaethje. Okay, here's the thing about Justin and the Justin or the Dustin fight. The Gaethje or the Poirier fight. Both of them are phenomenal fights for Conor because it's going to be a standing fight. Ain't nobody going to try to take nobody down in that fight. It's going to be straight striking battle, which is what we want to see for Conor if we want to see Conor take another shot at the title. He needs somebody that's not. He needs a good dancing partner who's not going to try to take him to the ground and wrestle fuck him till his submission. You know. So that's 2 good fights to hype him back up. Now between those 2, very tough fights for Conor, man. Yeah, he beat Dustin before. That was Dustin depleted at 45. Dustin at 55 looks like a world beater. He went 4 rounds with Khabib. 3 rounds with Khabib? 4 rounds with Khabib. One of the 2. And he's looked phenomenal at lightweight ever since he moved up. And he's put on so many good performances. I think it would be a different story. I would love to see what kind of timing Conor still has after being out of the ring. We didn't really get to see his timing much in his last fight. He just got taken to the ground over and over and got fucked up. But I would love to see him. I would be worried if I'm Conor, I'm not fighting Gaethje. Justin Gaethje is gonna. He's a wall walking towards you and walks you down repeatedly, fucks up your legs, and he's got stones for hands. Okay, I would rather fight Justin Poirier. I'm just mixing up their names now. I'd rather fight Dustin Poirier than Justin Gaethje if I'm Conor. I got the win over him already, and you know. That's what I would go for. But he called out Frankie. He called out Frankie Edgar. 30 pounds lighter. So that tells me Conor ain't really trying to fight. He's just trying to keep his name relevant. So Um, it's getting to the point now where I'm like, what the fuck ever, dude? Like, I don't care about Conor McGregor anymore. Is where I've gotten to now. Do I think he'll fight again? I said no. I said he's not going to fight. He's got some court battles that he's going through and whatever. But I don't know why we keep talking about it. I don't know why he's in the top 5. Why is he in the top 5 rankings for lightweight? He will not. He doesn't fight. Get him out of there. Get him out of there. Don't even put him in the remove him from the roster. He's not going to fight. This is how I feel at this point. If he does, and Gaethje calls out Conor, he's like, yo. He calls out Conor, say he's a fucking pussy for not fighting either him or Dustin. He's like, yo, the fight is me or the fight is Poirier for Conor. He ain't want to fight either one of us. He's a fucking pussy. You know what it is. Move on. And I think he's right. I think he's right. Now, the fight that's interesting that's coming up, there's a Corey Anderson, Johnny Walker fight. And another fight that... Corey Anderson, I love Corey Anderson. I think he's a very interesting character. Johnny Walker's been on a tear. He's super long, rangy. He's had that shoulder issue that I think he got fixed because he hasn't fought in a while. So I'm assuming he's back to normal now because it's been a while for him to rehab. But Corey Anderson said he's got the game plan against Johnny Walker. I like Corey. He's a great wrestler. Johnny Walker, striking phenom. He's a tall guy. Johnny Walker's the guy that fucked up Khalil Roundtree in a Muay Thai clinch, sending Khalil out to fucking Thailand to learn how to do Muay Thai. And Corey Anderson, if he uses his wrestling, he's a very decorated wrestler. If he uses his wrestling, I think he'll have a pretty good shot at Johnny Walker. But Johnny Walker's just so long and rangy. He's got a wild style. He's not afraid to do some crazy shit, and I think it'll be an interesting fight. I think if things play out the way I think they will, I think Johnny Walker's going to win that fight. I think Dom Reyes is going to win his fight, and then I don't want to see give them both to John Jones. I don't want to see them fight each other. I want to see that big dude that fought. I want John Jones to fight 3 fights: Johnny Walker, Dom Reyes, and that dude that beat Luke Rockhold. And then after those 3 fights, he can fight Adesanya. That's what I want to see, but we'll see. This weekend, though, is the fucking Dom Reyes, Yair Stevens rematch. Dom Reyes versus Chris Weidman moving up to 205 for the first time. Chris has fallen on some slow times lately. Hopefully the weight cut is what was been keeping him back, and moving up to light heavy. He was the dude that called his shot against Anderson Silva. He's like, yo, I understand Anderson Silva is the favorite, but I'm going to shock the world tonight. And he did so. And he said, I understand that John Jones is the favorite, but I think I got the fucking formula to shock the world once more against John Jones. I don't know if I personally see that, but I would love to see. I love anytime the tall middleweights move up because, they're probably in the wrong weight class as it is. But Dom Reyes is no joke, bro. He's another tall dude, man. These fucking 6'5" fighters that are light heavy are no fucking joke. They're so rangy. It's hard to get on the inside of them, and they're coming full circle. I'm excited to see this fight, but I see Dom Reyes doing work in this fight, man. I honestly do. And then the Yair Stevens fight, I think if I'm Yair, I would be nervous because I think Jeremy Stevens is coming in pissed off from what happened last time. All the shit talking that Yair did after the fight, them yelling slurs at each other, and this time it's in Vegas, I believe, and I would be worried, man. I think Stevens is gonna come in and get it done. So if I'm Yair, yikes, I would be a little bit worried. So that's this weekend. I can't wait to see that fight. I want to see how Dom Reyes does. I want to see how Weidman does moving up for the first time. Usually I'm pro people moving up, but Luke Rockhold proved that, maybe moving up is not the right move, but also Luke Rockhold's a little bit towards the end of his career. He's had a great career. He was already a champ. Weidman's been a champ too. But I think it's just Dom Reyes' time right now. And if I'm Yair, I'd be worried about Stevens. So, and before we leave, I just want to give a quick shout out to Earl Spence after he beat Sean Porter. He was out celebrating, whatever, and then he got into a car accident in his Ferrari, crashed it, and he was in critical condition, got sent to the hospital. So prayers up for Errol Spence, man. That's not what I wanted to hear. One, just because I want to see that, selfishly, I want to see the Errol Spence Terrence Crawford fight, but outside of that, just seeing somebody get in an accident and get in critical condition that's rough to hear about. And like, I mean, critical condition means you're on death's door, and then it's going to be a long road to recovery for him. Hopefully he can recover back and come back to full health, man, because I don't want it to affect his boxing career. I mean, he's on top of the world, man, right now, and everything was building towards that Terrence Crawford fight, and man, what a fucking nightmare to happen. And fuck, man, that shit sucks, and it really bummed me out when I heard that. But prayers up to him and his family, man. Hopefully some good news comes your way. Hopefully the road to recovery is good, and you can come back better and stronger than ever. But yeah, prayers up to Errol Spence and his family. But this weekend, Dom Reyes, Chris Weidman, Yair Rodriguez, Jeremy Stevens. Tune into that fight. I think Dom's going to do work. I think Stevens is going to do work. So we'll see how it goes. Enjoy the fights. I appreciate y'all listening. I appreciate y'all sticking with me and watching the this show, this UFC fight game show. I love the UFC, so I appreciate y'all listening. Enjoy the fights. I'll talk to y'all next week. Peace.